I still can't believe tonight is real, I whispered to myself, fingers brushing the edge of my glass. The golden lights of the hall reflected off the champagne, glittering like promises I thought would never break. Emma leaned close to me, her smile soft. You look nervous. I'm not nervous, I said, though my pulse raced. I want everything to be perfect for you. She laughed lightly. It already is. I let her words soothe me. Around us, laughter and music filled the air. My parents spoke with hers. Friends toasted to us. For a moment, I believed life had finally aligned. Then Daniel stood up. I frowned, watching him walk to the center of the room. Emma's assistant, always hovering, always too eager. But tonight, he wasn't carrying papers or following her lead. He carried a different kind of weight. He cleared his throat. Excuse me, everyone, the music lowered. Dozens of eyes turned toward him. Mine narrowed. What is he doing? I muttered under my breath. Emma froze, her champagne halfway to her lips. Daniel's voice rang clear. I can't stay silent anymore. I know this isn't the place, but Emma, I love you. The air shattered. Conversations died. Glasses stilled midair. My grip tightened until the stem of my glass snapped in my hand. Shards pricked my skin, but I barely felt them. Emma's lips parted. She stared at him, silent. Say something, I hissed to her, desperate, my chest burning. Daniel dropped to one knee. I don't care what tonight is. I don't care who's watching. Be with me instead. Choose me. Gasps rippled through the hall. My heart slammed against my ribs. What the hell are you doing? I barked. Daniel looked at me once, then dismissed me like I was nothing. His eyes locked on her. Emma, you know you felt it too. Don't lie to yourself. I turned to her, my voice shaking. Emma, tell him to stop, she trembled. For one agonizing second, I thought she'd put him in his place. But then she smiled, not at me. At him, the room spun. My breath caught in my throat. You can't be serious, I whispered. Emma, you can't. She didn't answer me. Instead, she whispered, Daniel. The world tilted. My chest felt hollow, ripped apart. I staggered back. After everything? After years of us? Her eyes flickered to me, filled with guilt, yet not enough to stop her. Daniel rose, grasping her hand. You deserve more than stability. You deserve passion, and I'll give you that. My parents looked horrified. My mother called my name, but her voice was muffled, distant. I felt like I was drowning. Emma finally spoke. Her voice broke. Ethan, No, I cut her off, shaking my head violently. Don't say it, not here. Not in front of everyone, but silence answered me. Silence louder than any scream. The hall blurred. Laughter turned to whispers. Faces turned away, some pitying, some amused. I felt like a joke in a theater everyone else had rehearsed, while I stumbled clueless into the role of the fool. Daniel wrapped an arm around her. She doesn't need to explain. You've held her back long enough. Rage surged through me. Held her back? I built a life for her. I gave her everything. And she wants me, he said simply. Emma's whisper cut like a blade. I'm sorry, that was it. The final strike. I dropped the broken glass from my bleeding hand. Red smeared across my palm, dripping onto the polished floor. You're sorry? I choked out. You stood beside me, promised forever, and now this? Her eyes shimmered with tears, but she didn't move toward me. She stayed by his side. I laughed bitterly, hollow. Congratulations, Daniel. You wanted to humiliate me? You did. You wanted to steal her? Take her. But remember this moment. Remember the day you begged like a child at another man's engagement. Daniel smirked. At least she chose me. My fist clenched. For a moment, I almost lunged at him. But then I saw the pitying stares. The whispers. The judgment. Fighting him would only make me smaller. I straightened, forcing my voice to steady. Enjoy your victory. But remember, everything you build on betrayal will crumble. Emma's tears fell then. But she didn't speak. She didn't stop me when I turned and walked out. The night air hit me like ice as I stumbled outside. My chest felt split open. Behind me, laughter cautiously resumed, as though my humiliation was just another chapter of entertainment. Mark's voice chased me down the steps. Ethan, wait! I didn't stop. My legs carried me blindly into the street. He caught up, grabbing my shoulder. Ethan, don't do this. Don't walk away like that. I spun on him, my voice breaking. What do you want me to do, Mark? Stay? Watch her choose him? Smile like I'm fine? His face tightened with pain. "I'm sorry. I didn't know." "Of course you didn't," I snapped. Then my voice faltered. None of us knew. Except her. She let me believe. All this time. Blood dripped from my hand onto the pavement. Mark reached for it. "You're bleeding. Let me..." I yanked my hand back. "It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore." "Ethan, I gave her everything," I whispered. My throat ached, and she still chose him. Mark's silence was heavier than words. I stared at the night sky, searching for something, anything to hold on to. But all I saw was darkness swallowing the stars. When I finally spoke again, my voice was hollow. "That night, that's when Ethan Carter died. Whatever's left of me now, I don't even know what to call it." I turned away from Mark, from the hall, from everything I thought was mine. And I walked into the cold, broken, and bare, with only the echo of betrayal ringing in my ears. I slammed the door of my apartment and leaned against it, chest heaving. My hand still stung from broken glass, but the pain inside me burned worse. Her voice echoed in my head. "Daniel." I kicked the wall. "Damn it!" The silence after was suffocating. I wanted it to swallow me whole. My phone buzzed. Emma's name lit the screen. I stared at it until it stopped. Then it rang again, and again. Finally, I hurled it onto the couch. "Stop calling me," I muttered. I poured myself a drink, the liquid trembling in my hands. A knock at the door. "Ethan, it's me," Mark's voice came through. "Go away, I'm not leaving." I groaned, dragging myself to open the door. "What?" He looked me over, eyes dropping to my bandaged hand. "You're a mess." "Thanks for the observation," I said flatly, stepping aside. He walked in, scanning the empty bottles already littering the counter. "It's been one night and you're already drowning yourself?" One night was enough to ruin me. Mark turned to face me. "She's not worth this," my voice cracked. "She was everything," he sighed. "No, Ethan, you made her everything. She didn't deserve that pedestal." I sank into the couch. "Then why does it feel like I can't breathe without her?" "Because you still love her," he said, sitting across from me. "But that love isn't returned. You have to face that." I buried my face in my hands. "I don't know how." The room fell quiet except for the clock ticking. I hated the sound, hated the reminder that time was moving when I wasn't. Mark leaned forward. "Do you want to hear what people are saying?" My head snapped up. "They're talking already?" "They always talk." "Some think Daniel's bold. Some think you looked weak." I flinched. "Weak?" Mark didn't soften it. "Yes, but only if you let this destroy you." Anger flashed in me. "Easy for you to say. You didn't watch the woman you love smile at another man while you stood there bleeding." His eyes held mine. "You're right. I didn't. But I'm watching my best friend fall apart now, and I won't let you drown in it." I turned away. "Then leave me alone." "No." His stubbornness grated, but part of me was grateful. The phone buzzed again. This time it was my mother. I stared at it. Mark nudged it toward me. "Answer." I shook my head. "I can't. She'll hear my voice and know I'm broken." "She already knows," he said softly. "She's your mother." I swallowed hard and picked up. "Mom." Her voice was tender, trembling. "Ethan, are you home?" "Yes, sweetheart." A pause. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," I whispered. "It's done." I saw the way she looked at him. My heart broke for you. I closed my eyes, tears threatening. "Don't, Mom. Please, if you cry, I'll break." Her breath shook. "Then promise me you'll take care of yourself." "Don't let this ruin you," I hesitated. "I don't know if I can promise that." "Try," she pleaded. "For me." I hung up before my voice cracked again. The silence felt heavier. Mark spoke quietly. "Your mom's worried. She doesn't want to lose you too." "I'm not lost," I said bitterly. "I'm just..." Empty. He didn't argue. Instead, he leaned back. "So what now?" "What now?" I echoed. "I drink. I sleep. I wake up and feel the same. That's my life." "Bullshit," Mark snapped. "That's not you." "The Ethan I know doesn't give up after one hit no matter how hard." I clenched my fists. "This wasn't a hit. It was annihilation." "Then rebuild," he shot back. I laughed hollowly. "Rebuild what? My fiancé? My dignity?" "No," he said firmly. "Yourself." The words hung in the air. I poured another drink. I don't even know who that is anymore. Then find out, he said. I stared into the glass. Do you think she'll regret it? Mark hesitated. Maybe, but that can't be why you move forward. Do it for you, the phone buzzed again. Emma this time. I silenced it. Mark raised a brow. You're going to have to face her eventually. Not tonight. Then when? When I can look her in the eye without falling apart. He nodded slowly. Fair enough. But don't wait too long. Letting her linger in your head is worse than facing her. I set the drink down, untouched. For the first time that night, I realized drowning myself wouldn't erase her. Mark noticed. Good. Small steps. I looked at him, voice raw. Tell me honestly, Mark, was I not enough? His eyes softened. You were too much. Too loyal. Too blind. You gave her everything and she didn't value it. The words hurt, but they also lifted a weight. I don't know how to forgive that, I admitted. Then don't, he said. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But don't let it define you either. I leaned back, exhaustion pulling me under. I just wanted forever. Mark's reply was steady. Then build a forever that doesn't depend on her. The silence that followed wasn't empty this time. It was heavy but survivable. As my eyes drifted shut, I whispered, I'll try. And for the first time since the party, I almost believed it. Have you seen this? Mark shoved his phone across the table. I didn't need to look. Photos of them again? He hesitated. Yeah, Emma and Daniel at some gala. Smiling like nothing happened. I finished bitterly. I forced myself to look. There they were. Her in the dress I once told her made her look like a queen. Him gripping her waist like he'd conquered something. My stomach twisted. They look happy, I muttered. They look fake, Mark shot back. Don't let it get to you. I laughed without humor. Too late. Half the city's already laughing. The architect who got dumped at his own engagement. That's my title now. Mark's jaw tightened. People have short memories. This will pass. No, I said firmly. It won't. Clients already pulled out. 2 projects gone in a week. You'll get more. Not if they think I'm unstable, I spat. That's what they're saying. That I'm distracted, emotional, a risk. The word burned. Risk. I'd built my whole career on precision, on control. Now I was a liability. Mark leaned forward. Don't you dare give in to that. I rubbed my face. Last night I almost signed Richard Hale's offer. Sell the firm, walk away. Mark's eyes flared. You what? He's been circling like a vulture, I admitted. Said he'd help me out of a hard time. Help? Mark scoffed. He wants to gut everything you built. You can't give it to him. I stared at my bleeding cuticles, nails digging into my palm. Maybe I'm not strong enough anymore. Mark slammed the table. Bullshit. You started this company with nothing. You fought for every brick, every design. One betrayal doesn't erase that. I wanted to believe him. But the whispers echoed in my head. Unstable, broken, weak. Before I could answer, the cafe door opened. A woman walked in, her sharp eyes landing on me instantly. She strode over. Ethan Carter? She asked. I frowned. Yes? She slid a card onto the table. Sophia Lane, journalist, Mark groaned. Great, just what we need. She ignored him. I'd like to hear your side, I blinked. My side of what? The city's buzzing about the engagement disaster. Emma and Daniel are painting a picture. But I don't buy it, anger flickered. And you think I'll just hand you my humiliation for a headline? Sophia leaned closer. I think people deserve the truth. And I think you deserve to be heard, Mark cut in sharply. We're not interested, I raised a hand. Wait, my voice was low. Why would you care? Her gaze was steady. Because stories like yours reveal who people really are. And I have a feeling Emma and Daniel aren't the saints they're pretending to be. The thought sent a spark through me. What makes you say that? She smiled slightly. Instinct. And a few whispers. Mark shook his head. Ethan, don't. This is how scandals blow up. I turned to him. It's already blown up. Maybe it's time people saw the truth, Sophia tapped her pen. So Ethan, tell me, what really happened that night? The memory stabbed. I swallowed hard. He proposed to her at my engagement, and she smiled at him. Her brows arched. And you walked away. What else was I supposed to do? My voice cracked. Beg her? Fight him? No, I left with what little dignity I had left. Mark touched my arm. You don't owe anyone an explanation. I owe myself one, I muttered. Sophia scribbled notes. Do you think they planned it? The question hit me like a punch. Planned? Yes, Daniel standing up at that exact moment. Emma not stopping him. Feels too perfect to be random. My blood ran cold. I had avoided thinking that. But now Mark cursed under his breath. Don't put ideas in his head. I shook my head slowly. No, she knew. She had to. You don't just smile when someone crashes your engagement unless... My chest tightened. Unless you were waiting for it. Sophia's eyes gleamed. That's the story I'm after. Not your humiliation. Her betrayal. I looked away, my throat burning. Why? Why would she do that to me? Mark's voice was hard. Because she didn't deserve you. Sophia's pen paused. Or because Daniel gave her something she thought she wanted. I snapped, Don't justify them. She held her hands up. I'm not. I'm just saying, if I dig, I might find what really pushed her. Secrets have a way of surfacing, Mark growled. Ethan, this is dangerous. Don't get sucked in, but rage simmered under my grief. For weeks, I'd been the victim, the joke. What if I turned the narrative? What if I showed the world who they really were? I leaned forward. If you find something, if you prove what they did, print it. Let the world see. Mark's hand tightened on my shoulder. Ethan, no, I said sharply. I'm done being silent. They humiliated me in public. Let them feel what it's like. Sophia smiled thinly. Then we have a deal. She stood, tucking her card into my pocket. Call me when you're ready to talk more. When she left, Mark exploded. Are you insane? This will only drag you deeper. I looked at him, my voice raw. Deeper than where I already am? Tell me, Mark, what's left to lose? He stared at me, speechless. I pressed my palms against the table, steadying myself. If I stay the victim, I'm finished. If I fight back, maybe I can breathe again. Mark's voice dropped. You're scaring me. I'm scaring myself, I admitted. But maybe fear is what I need now. The cafe fell quiet again, except for the storm building inside me. Rage sharper than grief. For the first time since that night, I felt something other than despair. I wasn't going to beg for pity. I wasn't going to fade into whispers. If the world wanted to turn its back on me, fine. I'd make sure they all turned their heads again when Emma and Daniel's perfect image started to crack. Mark slammed a folder down on my desk. You haven't slept, have you? I rubbed my eyes. Sleep doesn't build blueprints. You've been at this 3 nights straight. I leaned back, forcing a tired smile. Better than drinking myself numb, he studied me carefully. This isn't about projects. You're trying to outrun what happened. I'm not outrunning anything, I said. I'm turning it into fuel, his brow furrowed. Fuel for what? I tapped the desk where sketches of new designs sprawled. For me, not for her. Not for them. For me, Mark sighed, at least you're working. But Ethan, there's a fine line between determination and self-destruction. I crossed destruction weeks ago, I muttered. This is survival. Before he could argue, my phone buzzed. A message from Sophia. Meet me. I found something. Mark saw the name flash. The reporter again? Yes. You really trust her? No, I admitted, grabbing my coat. But I trust her curiosity. And that's enough. At the cafe, Sophia slid a folder toward me. I told you Daniel wasn't clean. I opened it. Bank statements, debt, gambling records. My jaw tightened. This is real? Confirmed, she said. Daniel's been living on borrowed money for years. If Emma knew, she ignored it. If she didn't, well, she's blind, rage curled inside me. So while I was breaking my back building stability, he was betting it away? Sophia smirked. And now he's using her connections to cover it up. Mark grumbled beside me. Why are you showing him this? What's your angle? Sophia leaned closer. Truth. Don't you want to see them fall apart under their own weight? I stared at the papers, pulse pounding. More than anything, she nodded. Then keep working. Let me dig. When the time is right, we'll expose him. I clenched my fists. No, not just him. Both of them. She stood there smiling. She deserves the same collapse. Mark's voice rose. Ethan, stop. This is dangerous. You're talking about revenge. I looked at him sharply. Revenge isn't an option anymore. It's a promise. The table went silent. That night, I returned to my apartment, the folder under my arm. I set it beside another box I hadn't opened in years. Emma's letters. I sat staring at them, my hands trembling. Finally, I tore one open. My dearest Ethan, I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. One day your name will stand tall in this city. I'll be by your side always. My chest tightened. Always. I opened another. I love how you dream. You make me feel safe. Don't ever stop fighting. I gripped the letter until it crumpled. She had loved me once, truly. Where had that woman gone? Swallowed by ambition? By fear? By him? I whispered aloud. Did you change, Emma? Or did you just hide who you really were? The letters blurred through my tears. Mark's knock startled me. He walked in seeing the mess. You're torturing yourself. I need to know when she stopped meaning it, I said hoarsely. You won't find the answer in those letters. Then where? In yourself, he said firmly. You can dig through every lie, but it won't change that she chose him. I shook my head. It's not just about her. It's about me. I refused to stay the man she humiliated. Mark's eyes softened. Then what are you becoming? I looked at the pile of sketches, the folders of secrets, the torn letters. My voice was steady. Someone sharper, stronger, and someone who won't forgive. Days blurred into nights. I buried myself in blueprints by day and Sophia's updates by night. One evening she called. Meet me! Urgent! When I arrived, she was already seated, eyes gleaming. Emma's company. Daniel's been funneling funds. My pulse raced. How much? Enough to sink them if exposed. I smirked bitterly. The empire of glass cracks. She leaned closer. This is the moment, Ethan. We can publish, destroy them. Mark, who'd followed me, snapped, or you can let karma do it naturally. Don't soil your hands. Karma is too slow, I said coldly. They didn't wait to humiliate me. Why should I wait to see them fall? Mark turned to me, desperate. You're not thinking straight. This isn't who you are. I looked him dead in the eye. Maybe this is who I was always meant to be. Betrayal lit the fire, Mark. Now it burns until they're ash. Sophia whispered. So what's your choice, Ethan? I took a long breath. My heart pounded, but my voice was calm. I won't just watch. I'll make sure the world sees them for who they really are. Mark groaned. And when you destroy them, what then? You think you'll be healed? No, I admitted. But at least I'll be free. Later that night, alone again, I stared at Emma's letters one last time. I set them on fire in the sink, watching the words curl into ash. Goodbye, I whispered. To the woman you used to be. To the man I used to be. The flames died, leaving smoke and silence. I looked at my reflection in the window. My eyes were harder now, my jaw set. Revenge was no longer some wild rage eating me alive. It was sharp, focused, a promise carved into my bones, and I was ready to keep it. Have you seen this? Sophia slid a newspaper across the table. Daniel's smug face stared back at me, but this time under a headline, Rumors of Financial Misconduct in Collins Brooks Partnership. I smirked. Looks like paradise doesn't shine as bright anymore. Sophia tapped the page. This is just the beginning. People are whispering. Investors are nervous. Mark, sitting beside me, frowned. So you're behind this? Sophia raised her hands. Not directly. My editor nearly killed the story. Claire demanded solid evidence. I gave her just enough to make her reconsider. I leaned in. And you'll give her more. Sophia smirked. If you keep feeding me leads, yes. Mark groaned. This is insane. You're throwing gasoline on their fire, I corrected him. No, Mark. I'm just letting the world see who they really are. Weeks later, Sophia called again. You'll love this one. Meet me. At the cafe, she laid out photos. Daniel at a bar, his arm around a woman who wasn't Emma. My chest tightened, not from pain, but satisfaction. She finally sees the cracks, Sophia grinned. Emma caught wind of it. They fought, loudly, in public. Mark crossed his arms. And you're enjoying this, aren't you? I looked him dead in the eye. Yes, because every smile they flaunted in my face is unraveling. Sophia added, investors are pulling out. Deals are collapsing. And Claire? She laughed. Now she wants more. She smelled blood. A week later, I received an unexpected call. Mr. Carter? This is Claire Mitchell, I stiffened. The editor? Yes, Sophia speaks highly of you. But I don't deal in half-truths. If you want me to run more stories, I need proof. Hard proof. I stayed silent for a beat. And if I don't give it, then the story dies and Daniel rebuilds. Your choice, I exhaled slowly. Check your email tomorrow. That night, Mark confronted me. You're really going through with this? Handing over evidence? She wants proof. I have it. I tapped the folder of Daniel's debts. Why sit on it any longer? Mark's voice sharpened. Because once it's out, there's no going back. Emma too, she'll go down with him. I hesitated. His words struck something. Finally, I said, she chose him. Let her share his ruin. Mark shook his head. This isn't about justice anymore. It's vengeance. I met his gaze coldly. Call it whatever you want. I call it balance. The next day, I handed the folder to Sophia, who delivered it to Claire. Weeks later, headlines exploded. Daniel Brooks under investigation for fraud. Collins Brooks partnership at risk. Mark stormed into my office. It's everywhere. Investors are cutting ties. Emma's company is crumbling. I leaned back in my chair. Good, his fists clenched. Good? Ethan, this is her too. Emma's losing everything. I met his anger with calm. She lost me first. He stared at me speechless, then muttered, You're colder than I thought. Maybe he was right. But I didn't flinch. Later that week, Sophia called me to her office. Claire was there, her sharp gaze scanning me like an X-ray. You're the man of the hour, Claire said dryly. But don't think I'm on your side. I'm not in the business of personal vendettas. I held her stare. And yet you ran the stories. Because the evidence was solid, she replied. If it hadn't been, Sophia would have been fired, Sophia smirked. Told you she's tough, Claire continued. If you have more, I'll consider it. But be clear, Mr. Carter. If I sense this is just your broken heart talking, I'll bury the story. I leaned forward. This isn't heartbreak. It's truth. Daniel is a fraud, and Emma enabled him. The world deserves to know. She studied me, then finally said, Prove it again. After she left, I turned to Sophia. She doesn't trust me. She doesn't trust anyone, Sophia said. But that's why she's good, I smirked. Good. I don't want blind allies. I want results, Sophia raised a brow. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I didn't deny it. Every headline is a reminder. I don't have to lift a finger. They're destroying themselves. Weeks passed. More scandals surfaced. Emma appeared in photos again, but this time her face was pale, her smile strained. Mark showed me one. She looks miserable. I studied it, my voice flat. That's what happens when your perfect world cracks. He slammed the photo down. Damn it, Ethan, you still care, don't you? I stayed silent too long. Finally, I whispered, Once, I would have given anything to protect her. Now I won't lift a hand to save her. Mark shook his head. I don't recognize you anymore. I met his stare. Good, because the man you knew died the night she smiled at him. By the end of the month, whispers filled the city. Daniel was arrogant, reckless. Emma was blind, desperate. Their empire was collapsing brick by brick, and me? My projects gained attention again. Clients returned. Awards followed. People looked at me not with pity, but with respect. Mark said it best one evening. You're not the victim anymore. No, I said quietly, staring at the skyline. I'm the survivor. And for the first time in months, the fire in me burned steady. Not wild, not broken, just steady. The rain hammered against the office windows that night, drowning out the hum of the city. I was finishing sketches when the knock came. Who is it? I called, not expecting anyone. Silence. Then the door opened. Emma. She stepped inside, soaked, her hair clinging to her face. Her eyes looked hollow, stripped of the brightness I once adored. I froze, gripping my pen so hard it nearly snapped. What are you doing here? Her voice trembled. Ethan, please! I needed to see you, I scoffed. Now? Months too late. She closed the door gently. I know I hurt you. More than anyone ever could. But I need you to listen, my chest tightened. Old feelings clawed at me, but I kept my voice sharp. Say what you came to say. She stepped closer, wringing her hands. I made a mistake, Daniel. He isn't who I thought he was. I laughed bitterly. And you're shocked? Everyone else saw it coming but you. Her lips trembled. He lied to me. About the debts, the affairs, everything. He used me, Ethan. I leaned back in my chair. And you used me. Don't forget that part. She flinched. I didn't mean to. You meant enough to smile at him. I cut her off. In front of me. In front of everyone. That wasn't a mistake. That was a choice. Her tears spilled. I thought he was passion. I thought he was what I was missing. But I was wrong. I shook my head slowly. Wrong doesn't erase betrayal. She came closer, her voice desperate. Please give me another chance. Let me make it right. The words stabbed deep, but I forced myself to stay steady. Another chance? After you shattered me? I still love you, she whispered. I stood, my voice rising. You loved me when? When you wrote me letters promising forever? When you swore you'd never leave? Or when you let another man humiliate me at our engagement? Her sob echoed in the office. I was blind. No, I said firmly. You were selfish. She reached out, touching the edge of my desk. I remember the man who believed in me, who held me when I broke down. That man, he's still in you. I know it, I clenched my fists. That man died that night, her eyes widened. I continued, voice like stone. The boy who begged for your love, who thought you were everything, that boy is gone. You killed him the moment you smiled at Daniel. Her tears streamed freely now. Then who are you? I stepped closer, meeting her gaze. I'm the man who survived without you. Stronger, sharper. I don't need your love to define me anymore. She shook her head. You can't mean that. We built too much together. We built nothing, I said coldly. I built, you took. I trusted, you betrayed. And now you want me to pick up the pieces? No, she staggered back, gripping her chest. I regret everything. Every choice. Regret doesn't undo it, I whispered. She cried harder. Daniel ruined me. He ruined us. Please, Ethan. I can't live with what I've done. I stared at her, heart pounding. Part of me wanted to reach out to hold her like before, but the fire inside me kept me grounded. You don't get to crawl back just because your world collapsed, I said firmly. I built myself back from nothing, alone, and I won't let you drag me down again. She fell into the chair across from me, trembling. I'm begging you, don't let this be the end. It was the end months ago, I said. The night you chose him. Her voice cracked. I don't want him. I want you. I leaned over the desk, my tone sharp as steel. And I don't want you. The silence after was deafening, broken only by the rain pounding the glass. Finally, she whispered, So this is it? Yes. She stood, wiping her face, trying to steady herself. You'll regret letting me go. I gave a humorless laugh. I already regretted keeping you. Her eyes widened in shock. I straightened my papers, refusing to look at her. Leave, Emma, don't come back. She hesitated. Ethan, go! I barked. Her sob echoed one last time before the door clicked shut behind her. The office was silent again, except for the storm outside. My chest ached, but my mind was clear. Mark appeared minutes later, stepping in cautiously. She was here. I didn't look up. Yes, and? She begged. Mark studied me. And you? I let out a slow breath. I told her the truth. The man she loved doesn't exist anymore. Mark's voice softened. You really believe that? I finally looked at him. I don't just believe it. I know it, he nodded slowly. So, how do you feel? I stared at the rain streaking down the window. Lighter. Like I finally closed a door I should have slammed months ago. Mark smirked faintly. About damn time. I allowed myself a small smile. For the first time, she saw me as I am now, not as the fool she left. And who are you now? Mark asked. I straightened. Someone who doesn't beg. Someone who doesn't break. Someone who survived. For a long moment, we stood in silence, watching the rain wash the city clean. Emma had walked out of my life for the last time. And this time, I didn't feel hollow. I felt free. Mark barged into my office, waving a newspaper. It's over, Ethan. Daniel's done. I raised a brow. What happened now? He tossed the paper onto my desk. Fraud charges confirmed. Daniel Brooks faces trial. I leaned back, scanning the headline. My lips curved, but not in joy. So the empire finally fell, Mark grinned. He's ruined, completely. No one will touch him again. I closed the paper calmly. I didn't have to lift a finger. You don't sound excited, he said. I'm not, I admitted. Because I don't need excitement. I need peace. That night, Sophia called. Big news, huh? I chuckled softly. You sound proud of yourself. Not just me, she said. Claire signed off on every piece we published. Daniel couldn't escape the truth forever. And Emma? I asked quietly. Sophia hesitated. She's gone quiet. Walked away from him. But the damage is done. She lost everything too. I stared out the window at the rain-slicked streets. Good, good? She pressed. Yes, Because she finally felt what I felt, losing everything you thought you'd built. Sophia's voice softened. Do you still love her? I paused. No, I mourned the woman she used to be, but I don't love the ghost she became. Weeks later, I ran into Emma by accident outside a cafe. She looked thinner, drained. Her eyes flickered when she saw me. Ethan, she whispered. I froze but stayed firm. Emma, she stepped closer. I heard about Daniel. You must be satisfied, I shook my head. No, I'm not satisfied. I'm free, her lips trembled. I lost everything. You chose everything you lost, I said. Her voice cracked. I regret it every day. I looked into her eyes one last time. And I don't. She flinched as though I'd struck her. I turned to leave. Goodbye, Emma, her whisper followed me. You'll never forgive me, will you? Without looking back, I answered, I don't need to. Later, Mark asked, how was it? Seeing her again? I exhaled. Like standing in front of a ghost. Familiar, but already dead to me. And Daniel? He's paying his price. That's enough, Mark studied me. So what now? You've been living for this collapse. What's left? I looked at my hands, once clenched with rage, now steady. What's left is me, and that's more than enough. Sophia visited the office a week later. You know, people are talking. They see you as the man who survived betrayal. A symbol, I laughed softly. I didn't survive for them. I survived for me, she smiled. That's why they respect you, I shrugged. Respect or pity, it doesn't matter. What matters is that I don't wake up bleeding anymore. Sophia tilted her head. So no more revenge? I shook my head. Revenge was a fire. It burned me as much as it burned them, but now I've let the fire die. One evening, I stood on the rooftop of my building, staring at the city lights. Mark joined me carrying 2 drinks. He handed me one. To survival, I raised mine. To scars that make us stronger. We clinked glasses, he smirked. So you're really at peace? I nodded slowly. Yes, betrayal scarred me, but it also freed me. I thought I needed her hand to stand tall. Turns out I only needed mine, Mark grinned. That's the Ethan I know. A week later, Emma sent me a letter. The last one I ever opened. Ethan, I don't expect forgiveness. I only hope one day you'll remember who we were, not how we ended. I'll carry the regret forever. I folded it, placed it in the drawer, and never replied. Mark asked, why keep it? I answered simply, not as a memory of her, as a reminder of me, of the man who learned never to give his hand blindly again. The trial against Daniel dominated headlines for months. Fraud, corruption, betrayal, his empire dissolved in shame. Emma disappeared from the spotlight. The city moved on, but me? I stood taller. My projects thrived. My name returned stronger than before. Not because I chased revenge, but because I reclaimed myself. Sophia once asked me, if you could go back, would you change anything? I thought for a long moment before answering. No, because without betrayal, I'd still be the man begging for love instead of the man standing on his own. On a quiet night, I returned to the rooftop alone. The skyline stretched before me, glowing with endless lights. I whispered to myself, they took my past, but they couldn't take my future. And as the wind brushed against me, I finally felt whole. I wasn't the broken man who staggered out of that engagement. I wasn't the victim who drowned in silence. I wasn't the vengeful fire that burned in the dark. I was Ethan Carter. Scarred, yes, but free, and that was a hand I would never give away again.